Hello, as regular watchers, you may have guessed that this is a departure from the normal show. This is an episode of Freethought Forum, and today we are exploring some of the lesser-known facts of the Bible. To make it fun, we are using a trivia game show format. Everyone is welcome to call in, answer Bible trivia questions, and win prizes. We have only one phone line, and the phone will get busier later in the show, so start those calls right now. So, welcome to Freethought Forum, sponsored by the Rationalists of East Tennessee and the Atheist Society of Knoxville. I am your trivia host, Dale, and your co-host is Johannes. He will be keeping trivia score and providing color commentary and whenever the calls come in, so start calling. While we're waiting for the calls, I'd like to mention that next week, John Clark and Joe Barnard will be reviewing the fantastic series Cosmos. And I think they're going to be up to about episode 3.
Yes. We also have some other upcoming shows for you. Is it time to start taxing churches? How much is Knox County losing in property taxes alone? Another upcoming episode, who would win in a fight? Jesus or Superman? How different is Christianity from demon worship?
Well, that has to be a good one. I like the one who would win in a fight, Jesus or Superman. It seems like a joke, but last week I went to a comic book convention right here in Knoxville, and I was eavesdropping on a couple of kids actually discussing this.
Do you do that frequently?
Yeah. They compared Jesus' demonstrated powers and weaknesses against Clark Kent, and so who would win? And
yeah,
I believe I think it's Jesus, though. Jesus would probably be the one. Well, the reason being is that Superman's weaknesses are kryptonite and magic.
So Jesus is magic.
Well, according to Sarah Silverman, yes, he is.
How different is Christianity from demon worship? That will be interesting.
I'll be tuning in on that one. As one said, even a devil appreciates the victims that he tortures. One man's God must be another man's demon. But what is another show coming up? What is more intriguing to have sex with, a theist or an atheist? Religion's sexual edicts can run anything from restrictive to terribly bizarre. Male circumcision, female circumcision, taboos against different practices. And what about the pagans who enjoyed sex before the Christians moved into the neighborhood? They don't call it the missionary position for nothing. We have a text message. Okay, correction. Freethought Forum will not be doing a show on who would win in a fight between Jesus and Superman. Turn that off.
The answer was Jesus, right?
It was Jesus. Okay. It is Jesus. You don't need to watch it. One of our viewers, okay. And so now we're going to something that was a new segment while we're waiting for calls. So lucky us, a new segment that we're going to do right now called Johannes' 90-second rant. And I think
that's misspelled.
90 second.
I'm pretty sure it's misspelled.
How do you figure that? 90 second. That's right.
You know what? It's good enough for me.
The apostrophe wrong? Anyway, I have not heard the subject. I haven't heard his rant, so I will be enjoying it right along with the viewing audience.
You can call it enjoyment. You know, if I had fewer convictions, I think I would join ISIS, that whole group of terrorists in the Middle East that have taken over a vast swath of territory from eastern Syria on into northern Iraq and claimed it as their own. Really, I'm a power-hungry jerk who would like to run his own country, and I can get behind these guys' vision, at least what I've seen of it so far. I don't really like the blood or the Islam too much, which prevents me from joining up with them and trying to take over. But what I don't understand is their end goal. What end goal do you have as an organization? Sure, you've carved out a whole vast swath of the Middle East. You control everything, all the way up to Kurdistan, all the way over from the Levant and what Bashar al-Assad can't take back for himself, going on down into Baghdad. I understand that. I get that you've carved out a huge empire for yourself, and you've done it very suddenly. You've also managed to anger al-Qaeda and the United States at the same time, which few are capable of doing. But again, what is the end game? I would like to know what ISIS's vision for the territory they control is. Is it simply Sunni Islamic Republic? We have plenty of those. There are tons of them. As a matter of fact, Iraq and its constitution is in the Islamic Republic. Why? Why bother carving out this giant swath of territory for yourself if you have no end goal? They've stated no end goal. All I have yet to see are YouTube videos of executions and guys driving around in trucks they stole. If I wanted that, I would watch videos from Florida.
Has it been 90 seconds?
I don't care.
Okay.
I don't have to fill 90 seconds.
All right, now we're going to hear that
I'll shortchange you, the viewer at home.
One of the
But you're
Free
still-
Thought hosts wants to join ISIS. And that was the final installment of our new segment, Johannes' 90-second rant. Getting to the show. Today is our Bible trivia show. It is appropriate for Knoxville because, as one polling organization found, Knoxville is the most Bible-minded city in America. Close seconds are Chattanooga and Shreveport, Los Angeles.
Louisiana.
Okay, so there's another Shreveport then, okay. So, callers, call in. You will answer Bible questions, and if correct, you can move on to the next round. If you know someone who knows the Bible well, then call him and tell him to tune into the show and compete. Cheating is okay, so dust off your Bible and make a few crib notes. We still have no calls.
No one has called?
No one has called. Okay. What about, I know what its problem is. They don't know what the prizes are.
That's right.
There's prizes.
There are prizes.
Let's see. The prizes today for our trivia day are points, of course, and refrigerator magnets. Everyone who answered trivia questions correctly will receive either the points or the refrigerator magnets of your choice. Now, what we have here is Real Men Heart Jesus, which I know that's a popular slang, or what do you call it? Saying. And I think I'm an atheist, and our God is an awesome God.
That one is applicable to several different religions.
Well, all of them have awesome gods. I mean, who would say our God he's so-so. He's all right. And as a matter of fact, for this, the middle one there is for our atheist callers. But what happened was at the factory where they made these up for us. You see, here they are. Forgot to put in the comma, and it's supposed to be, I think, I'm an atheist. So somebody's going to have to get your magic marker and fix this if you're wanting one of those. Now, I admit, though, these are the secondary prizes. We have another one. We can tell you, we have this right here. All callers who call in will also qualify in a drawing for a George W. Bush sculpture relief. And here's a picture of it right there to prove that we actually have it. It's right here. Now what I can tell you about this is there are only 5 copies of this sculpture that exist. One was purchased by a doctor in Texas, one by an Arlington, Virginia resident who may or may not be an employee of a shadowy intelligence agency, and one was bought by a very well-known Maryville Republican. And this one, the artist has signed. This was a maquette, which is used before the bronze process.
Was it ever made into a coin?
No. As a matter of fact, though, the artist, and we're not supposed to give too much information on this because of promoting people on community TV, but the artist applied to a numismatic institute at Colorado Springs. Now, for a fellowship, I don't know if he got that, but he did move to Colorado Springs. And this is the institute where they make the
numismatic.
Yeah, they do the coins and all. And so, well, I can't really say that this is going to be the coin that they make for George Bush. But if it is, this could be very valuable.
I'm looking forward to hyperinflation.
What?
I'm really looking forward to hyperinflation. I can't wait for all the different coins and bills. Imagine the backlog of presidents that we have and major figures that we could just stick on currency once we develop a need for the $250 bill, the $1 million bill, the $1 trillion bill.
I thought you were talking about what happened after the Big Bang, so I was not following right there. Okay.
Monetary inflation, much more important than...
Well, we don't know if this will be made into a coin. And we do know that he's definitely going to have a coin at one point, but can't really say. But now what do we move on to the In the News? And where's the callers? These are great prizes. Now, if there's only 4 callers, your chances are 1 in 4 of getting this George W. Bush original signed by the artist. But we're going to go on to In the News while we're waiting for the caller to call in.
We have a caller.
Well, okay.
Hello, caller. Could you give us a name or nickname?
My name is Al.
Okay,
Hello, Al. Could you just give us a brief moment while our volume levels equalize?
Yeah,
Now,
recite Mary Had a Little Lamb or John 3:16, please.
Say that again?
No, we got you. That's all right. There's enough. That was enough words right there. Al, are you ready to play?
Say that again. Go ahead.
Are you ready to play Bible trivia?
Who's asking the question?
Well, I'm Dale, and this is Johannes.
Dale is the one asking the questions. I'm just here to be a peanut gallery on air.
And
All
eye
right.
candy.
All right, go right ahead.
Okay, what category would you like? Jesus crucifixion, politics in the Bible, Old Testament, miracles of Jesus? What do you want?
Let's go with Jesus' crucifixion.
Excellent choice. Excellent choice. And if I can find it. Okay, pre-crucifixion or after crucifixion?
What do you mean by that?
Well, before or after he was actually on the cross. You want to narrow down your question?
Okay, after the cross.
Oh, after the cross. Okay. That would be, what gospel, how about this one? What gospel author reported that a group of zombies staggered en masse through the streets of Jerusalem?
They weren't zombies. They were dead people who rose from the dead in Matthew.
Matthew! Got it? Not only, yes, you are absolutely right. Some people do not distinguish between zombies and...
They're not zombies.
Well, yeah, I know, but some
They
people...
were dead people who rose from the dead when Jesus rose from the dead.
Well, I see the difference. But you see, they didn't talk to anybody. They didn't resume their lives. They didn't...
No, they didn't.
No, they just wandered
sampled.
through the streets.
Would you describe the way that they wandered through the streets as a shambling gait?
It
doesn't
doesn't
say.
describe it.
No, it doesn't. Just they wandered through Jerusalem and scared the dickens out of everyone.
No, they
especially
let everybody know there was life after death.
as a zombie?
No.
Okay, well, you got the question.
Where do you get these zombies from? Not the Bible.
I watch a lot of movies that I
All
thought...
right, but it's not in the Bible.
Okay, it's not in the Bible. We'll give you that one, too. How many points has he racked up so far?
2.
Good, okay, I'd say considerable points, too.
You're on your way.
All right,
to
let's
that
see
relief.
now. Well, this one's right there at the cusp of the two. Well, according to the Gospels, Al, what was the shape of the cross? Was it
Well, what do you think? It always shaped the cross as a T.
as a T? Okay,
Yeah.
that would be a
Upper or lowercase?
upper or lowercase t?
Uppercase.
Uppercase. Okay, well, that's close enough for me. Al, actually, what we were going for there was that though it uses the word cross, as if you spoke to any Jehovah's Witnesses, they will also point out that the Bible does not give you any description of it. For as far as they're concerned, it could have been a pole, and the
But
word...
Jehovah's Witnesses are a cult.
Well, that's rude.
Well, John Taz Russell started it.
He
cult.
He did. But anyway, no mention is made of what the actual shape of the cross was.
Well, sure, there was a crossbeam that Jesus carried as he went through the streets, and they compelled the black man to help him carry the crossbeam because Jesus lost some strength as he was going up the street, and they put him on the cross.
You know, I hope you don't have a basketball team.
Why?
Somebody be trying to make you sell it, maybe. But actually, that was one of the questions of the trivia thing. Well, who did drag the cross to Golgotha? Would it be Jesus, Simon, or both of them?
Jesus was carrying it. He fell under the load, so they compelled this black Simon, a black person, to help him carry it to the rest of the way.
Okay, that's not in the Bible. Actually,
it is in the Bible.
No, actually, what's in the Bible is that in one gospel, Jesus carried it, and another gospel, this other fellow of African American descent.
I think you could just say African.
He was a black man because.
Right, but no gospel says that both of them carried it. Well, Al, thank you very much.
He helped him.
Well, that's not according to the gospel.
Which
gospel.
one? What gospel?
Oh, you're not going to make me look it up, are you?
Yes.
Okay, Al. Well,
Prove your case.
I will do that, and why don't you just hang on, keep watching the show, and I will provide that before the end of the show. Al, thank you very much for calling. Do we need to ask him how he heard about the show?
I think we should. Al, how have you heard about our show? Are you a regular watcher?
Not really. Every now and then I'll stumble across Channel 12 and.
Well, we appreciate your time. Thank you for watching.
Well, any other questions you want me to answer?
No, you're in the drawing. Oh, no, yes, there is a question.
We have more trivia.
Which refrigerator magnet would you like for us to send to you?
None.
You do. Okay, well, that. We save money. We save money on that one. Al, we appreciate your playing. Call your friends who are also very biblically astute. And,
well, wait a minute. You people are atheists, ain't you?
Oh no, I'm a deist. Were you?
Oh, you don't believe in the Trinity?
I'm a lapsed Mormon.
Okay, lapsed Mormon and a deist.
A Mormon.
Thanks for your time, caller.
He went to see the Book of Mormon, and he's been spouting all kinds of stuff ever since.
It's legitimate religious education. It changed my mind.
All right, so we're going to do In the News while we wait for another caller. Caller, the lines are clear. Call in.
We do need more calls because really, honestly, I don't want to... who's taking these if we don't get contestants to take them?
Well, we ordered 1,000 of them, so we're going to have to get rid of them somehow.
It's very ambitious. I like that.
In for a penny. In the news.
In the news. In the news. We are finding our news. No, we're not. We're not finding news.
I think it's in the second page.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Ah, yes, in the news. Okay, we're back on track. Recently, the Supreme Court has ruled with regard to Hobby Lobby's restrictions on its health insurance program. The Supreme Court ruling, in the minds of many, essentially means that corporations may exert religious control over employees, disallowing certain methods of birth control. Now, I think some people have a biblical take on this.
They do.
They do.
It's for Bible reasons that they have decided not to participate in abortion and prevent other people from having abortions.
So what biblical reasons?
I think this is just birth control, though. This is not really about abortion.
No.
But I don't know the biblical precedents for this. There's nowhere that says anything about thou shalt not have abortions, thou shalt not take birth control, they shall not use certain kinds of birth control. One person said that if they was justifying it religiously, that they would just come up with whatever religious thing they could. I knew you in the womb, thou shalt not murder, or something, in order to justify it, because the Bible can be used to oppose Obamacare, which I think is what they're doing.
I think it's one of those instances where someone specifically seeks to bring a case before the Supreme Court.
But we're getting down to a point here where, as Mitt Romney reminded us in his bid for the presidency, corporations are people too. And he's right. Legally, a corporation is a person. They are endowed with the rights of free speech. They're endowed with the rights of due process. They're endowed as a person. The thing that they don't have is they don't die. And as a person, they can kill other corporations, which are other persons, with impunity. As a person, they can buy another corporation, which is slavery. So what we're having here is we have the United States citizens, and then we have these multitudes of corporations.
I think they're just buying assets. They're buying physical capital and right for use of name. I don't think they're buying.
You're buying the corporation.
Yes.
Another corporation can buy another.
It's a legal person, though, not an actual person.
It is a legal person. It's about. How do we get this to work? Oh,
You're on the air, caller. May we have a name or nickname?
Amos, recite a couple of words.
Recite a couple of words of what?
There you go.
We got you. We're just trying to get volume levels equalized. Now, caller, you know to not listen to your television. You know to mute your television and listen only to the phone.
It's muted. I'm a regular watcher of this program.
Superb.
Amos, are you ready to play Bible trivia? Were you watching when Al played?
Well, I don't know what this is. First time I've seen you guys on there.
Well, the thing behind us says Bible trivia. That means what we're doing is we're asking questions. You can win prizes. We got refrigerator magnets. Show them the George Bush that we're going to. And one of the callers is going to get the George Bush sculpture. So that's what we're doing. Would you like to answer a couple of Bible trivia questions?
Well, I'd just like to make a statement. I don't know nothing about the Bible.
Okay, go ahead.
I called in last week and asked about the money that they found in that Joel Osteen, that televangelist.
It was $600 and some $1,000. Yes.
$660,000
Yes.
in cash, and they ain't never been another word said about it. That's an awful lot of money to have, God's money to have laying around there.
Yeah, it is, but the thing about it is, it was only 1 week of that particular organization's take, so I don't think that God's going to be all that upset about it. I mean, he's got 51 more weeks to whatever the multiplication is. So,
well, I'm sure the Catholics, the Pope, will let them borrow some.
The Pope.
Well, listen, I watch the show every week. I'll hang up and let you
Caller, caller, please stick with us for just a moment. If you just play along for a moment and at least take a shot at it. Take a stab, take a guess. Because what's the worst that happens? You're still entered just for playing.
Okay, I just wanted to get my comment on there about that cash money laying around that church.
A lot of cash money. I believe it was in a safe. I believe they can afford a safe. Well, would you like, since you don't know, you said admittedly not a lot about the Bible, would you like to answer a question in the category politics in the Bible? Just say yes.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Now, you remember the Bush-Iraq war?
I said I'm not.
Okay. That was answered correctly. Now, what two world leaders publicly said that they consulted God for their war plans? Two men.
Pat Robertson.
Pat Robertson. Okay. Who else?
Dick Cheney.
Dick Cheney, that's close enough. Actually, it was Saddam Hussein and George Bush. You're doing well. Okay, now, still regarding politics in the Bible, here's another great question. Just recently, let me ask this one. In the last presidential election, what percentage of candidates for the highest office in the land publicly said that God told them to run for the office of president? What percentage?
Which candidate?
Yes.
Candidates trying to get elected president in the last election.
Mitt Romney.
Actually, okay, who else? Or what percentage of the candidates that went up for the primaries and all, what percentage said God told them?
80. 80%.
80%, close enough. It was 50. And among those would have been, where'd it go? Herman Cain, Santorum, Sarah Palin, Michelle Bachmann.
Rick Santorum has a first name. He's not just like a noun. He's a proper noun.
He's become a noun.
He has become a noun. But we're talking about the proper noun.
He's become a noun.
The substance did not run for
We're not
president.
supposed to talk about that.
All right, caller, one last question. What beloved American politician says that waterboarding is just baptism, only for non-Christian terrorists, since Christian terrorists are already baptized?
Dick Cheney.
Close enough. Another person who may have said it all. He may have said it, but another person we think said it was Sarah Palin. And by the way, callers, other people watching this, if you've watched this show before, some of these questions you may have heard again. Amos, thank you very much for calling. You're in the drawing for the George Bush. Are you a fan of George Bush? It looks going to look well on the wall.
Don't waste a stamp.
You sure? Look, it. Okay.
It's gorgeous.
Can't give
Thank you for your
away
time,
the
caller.
prizes.
I wouldn't hang it out in my outhouse.
In your outhouse. What?
I was not hanging in my outhouse.
Oh, not in the outhouse. Actually, that's about the only place that.
Hey, I'll let somebody else call.
Okay, thank you very much, Amos.
Thank you, Amos.
He was fun.
He was a lot of fun.
I like that
He's
guy.
quite good at Bible trivia.
In fact, he said he didn't know that much about the Bible, but he played the game. He got in there. He
And
tried.
that's the point. Amos, he really demonstrates a very important point for all of this, and that's that you can't win if you don't play.
That's right.
And the only way to play is to call.
You must call. Otherwise,
call.
we don't know any. Don't make us call you.
We might.
We have caller ID. We might call you.
Wait, we would only be calling people that have called us already.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay. Anyway, we were going to go back to In the News. Next news story.
Well, a man was committed to an insane asylum for converting from Islam to Christianity. It's very progressive of them. They didn't kill him.
Yeah, really. I mean, the fact of the matter, he may even actually deserve to go there, because I know that there are a lot of people who are theists are crazy and probably have problems like that. But it's a lot better than cutting his head off or.
Where was this?
I think it was. I don't recall. But if you steal, they cut your hand. Or in some places,
That's
they cut
Saudi
your
Arabia.
hands off. That's Saudi Arabia. They cut your hands off, and if you commit adultery, I don't know what they would cut off then. But what would you cut off if you had I guess the head?
If you're crazy?
No, if you're being, because haven't they executed people
Converts, yes.
who've converted from?
Converts have been executed before.
Okay.
This is a known practice.
Well, that is politically, a nicer thing to do.
It's very progressive of them.
Put them in a
It's
nice
huge
place.
step forward.
All right. The only thing we have left now is.
Really, though, depending on where this took place, I really have to wonder what warrants time spent in an insane asylum in certain, like North Korea, case in point. I know it's not Islamist, but it's still one of those rogue states America's none too happy with. Certain parts of the world, I really do have to wonder what qualifies you as crazy.
When I got out of the Army, I worked at a hospital, and they actually have Christian in America, in Chattanooga. They had Christian-based psychiatric institutions. Now, this is where someone goes and they read the Bible and they pray and so forth in order to cure whatever mental problem has sent them to the hospital. I think they use drugs too, as an adjunct. But I've never understood that. But maybe they could see about getting this guy extradited to America, and we could put him in a Christian mental care facility.
Were I having voices in my head, it would be really comforting, I think. a Christian facility would be very comforting if I was suffering from a mental illness. Because at least then I would have a very good and socially acceptable explanation for the voices in my head.
Well, when I was in the Army, I was 3 years as a psychiatric technician, and it seems like there were 3 components to the psychiatric ward, and that was the staff, the patient, and the voices. And the thing about voices, and if anybody's out there got voices, don't trust them, because the voices never say anything good. The voices never say, my goodness, that purse goes well with those shoes. No, they say, don't you think it's time you drown your children? The voices are very well taken care of, for the most part, by Thorazine, so there's help. So I assume that's the way to test and see if it's actually from God. If
Thorazine doesn't work.
If Thorazine makes them shut up,
if nothing in the pharmacopoeia works, then it's God.
Yeah, I would say so.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
What else is in the news?
It's a good litmus test.
I don't know of anything else in the news. There's probably nothing happening. We should beg more people to call in.
We should. You should call in.
Hey, well, or we could take that break.
That's right.
Oh my gosh, we ran out of material.
Do you prefer the scientific method over supernatural beliefs? Are you concerned about religious leaders and organizations imposing their values and rules on your body, your family, and the rest of our society? Well, take comfort in the fact that you're not alone. The Rationalists of East Tennessee meets weekly for fellowship and provides a forum for people who support skeptical thinking and rational discussion of these and other issues. To find out more information or to find out about our next meeting, visit us on the web at www.rationalist.org. If you live in or around the Knoxville area and are questioning your religious beliefs or simply believe in one less God than everyone else, well, you're not alone. The Atheist Society of Knoxville is a fun and friendly group of people just like you that meets twice a week at a bar or restaurant. We meet every Tuesday night following the show at Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria for happy hour. You'll find our group either inside or on the patio. Look for Richard Dawkins' silver-jacketed book, The God Delusion, standing upright on the table. On Fridays, we meet at Agave Azul or the Beard and Beer Market. But if you plan to preach, proselytize, provoke, or punch, please don't. We all question what we believe at one point in our lives. If this is the time for you, come join us for food, drink, conversation, and fun.
We're back. And we're still waiting for your calls. We're still waiting for you to prove to us that you know your Bible.
Now remember, Knoxville, Tennessee voted, or rather it was a poll, the most Bible-minded city in America. And you people need to call up and strut your stuff. Okay, now we're going to show some of the prizes that you can win if you call in and answer a couple trivia questions. Everybody who answers a trivia question can get refrigerator magnets. A refrigerator is never complete without a magnet. And also, one caller, if they don't...
How do they work?
Magnets?
Yeah.
I think it's a monopole situation. No, it's a dipole situation.
I could have sworn it was
it's the
magic.
lining of the different atoms up with...
Why would
one
clowns lie to
direction.
me? They told me it was magic.
Oh, magic. Well, one caller will be getting the George Bush sculpture. We'll be choosing him by a raffle at the end of the show. We'll let you know.
We have a caller.
We have
I
a
believe.
caller.
Hello, caller. You're on the air. May we have a name or nickname?
Hey, this is Faithless Forrest. I've
Whoa.
been watching the show and laughing along, and I got to try my hand at Bible trivia.
Well, now, Faithless, you are one of those people that are Bible-minded. From what I understand, you've read the Bible cover to cover.
I actually have read it, yes. I can only say once cover to cover, and after I was partway into it, I was then told there was more than one, so I have to qualify that further. I read a Gideon Bible. You can pick them up in any motel room, most any motel room.
That's where I got this one. Yeah, they give them out free.
But have you read the part 3 of the Bible?
Part 3. Do tell, what is part 3 of the Bible?
The Book of
Oh,
Mormon.
the Mormon. Oh, no, I've not. I'm afraid they haven't knocked on my door. I would immediately ask for one, of course, and
can
I might
change
get
that
around to
for you.
reading it.
All right. Well,
Promise?
you come to be
Promise?
called in to play trivia, right?
That's right. Although if one of the prizes is a Book of Mormon, I'm game.
No,
We can arrange
it's
that.
not one of the prizes. With their
Well,
harder...
maybe your lapsed Mormon there could help me.
We could arrange to have it delivered to you by two
right.
very clean-cut and highly professional persons,
All right, well, that's
not
great. Well,
affiliated with this show in
all
any way,
right,
shape, or
get me
form.
with those questions. We'll see how I can do it.
All right.
Well, I've got one here that was a little bit in that regard, and I cannot find it right now. But so let's just hit you with something else. You're-
I'm not going to be good at naming chapter and verse because when you read it once, they all kind of blur together.
Okay.
I can tell the stories, but anyway, hit me with whatever you got.
Okay, how did David kill Goliath?
Okay, it wasn't going to be multiple questions, multiple choice.
Okay, again, we're supposed to be the most biblically-minded city in America. Multiple choices.
Yeah,
more
well,
like...
wasn't it something like a slingshot?
Okay, slingshot. Right. We also would have accepted sword.
Okay.
As the Bible says, therefore David ran and stood over the Philistine after he knocked him down with the slingshot, took his sword, drew it out of his sheath thereof, and slew him and cut off his head therewith. So,
Okay, well, since this is a G-rated show, we won't talk about what sheath might also refer to.
it's where the sword goes, sheath.
Go on. All right.
Okay.
I missed that one.
That's in 1
So,
Samuel.
The death blow was by a sword. All right, move on.
Death blow was by a sword. No, we gave you that one. No, taking it back. If you're going to argue with me about it. Who was more of a drunk? Noah or Lot?
Oh, wow, my goodness, that's a good one. Well, they were both drunks. Let's see, Noah got stinking falling down drunk and embarrassed his sons, or was embarrassed by his sons, depending on how you interpret it.
Well, if you're a
Then there's Lot.
if you're a 600-year-old man who's got to be that wrinkly and you get drunk and fall around naked, yeah, you're going to embarrass your children. Yeah.
It probably doesn't take all that much to make a 600-year-old man falling down drunk. So maybe he wasn't that big a drinker, and he was just impaired.
Okay.
So Lot, he was a little younger. He had a couple of daughters. He offered them to the rape crowd. It's not clear if the rape crowd accepted or not, but then, they escaped Sodom. Unfortunately, his wife looked back, and they went off to a cave somewhere. And apparently his daughters...
Okay, there's a 20-second time limit on the answer. And the answer...
So the daughters had their way with him after getting drunk. Man, I think he must have been the drinker.
The daughters had their way with their father.
Yeah, that's what the Bible says.
Wouldn't
if the
you
Bible
love
be true.
to see that case on Judge Judy?
No.
On Judge Judy...
Emphatically no.
All right, did I get the bell?
Say, Your Honor,
Did I get
my
the bell?
daughters got me drunk,
You did get it correct.
and they had sex with me, and I'm suing for monetary damages and emotional distress. Judge Judy would just... I don't think she'd go for it. I don't
This
think
is what
it's
happens when you have children and raise them in
plausible-
Sodom.
It's not a plausible excuse. I was drunk, so I had sex with my daughters.
All right, next question.
Next
Okay.
question.
Jesus was in the Garden of Gethsemane, or how that's
Gethsemane.
Gethsemane, and he sweated. What did he sweat?
Oh, my goodness. I'm not aware. This is a wild guess on my part. It's going to be blood.
Oh, we also would have accepted not blood. The reason being that the Bible says he sweated as if great drops of blood dropped to the ground. He sweated like it was blood pouring out. But the tradition, though, has gone today that he actually sweated blood. And as a matter of fact, they've even come up with a whole name for it, hemodidrosis or something like that, which means sweating blood, which is no more proof of the actual condition than lycanthropy is for werewolves.
Okay, so what's my count here? Did I get 2 out of 3?
You've
or
got
just 1 out of 3?
considerable points. Would you like to risk it all in the next question, or take your points
man.
and leave?
Risk
quit.
it all. I'm a player. Risk it all.
Okay, all right. Which apostle does the Bible say caught a fish with a coin in its mouth?
Ooh. All right, I don't know this, but, you know, the usual list of apostles often leaves out, I think it's Bartholomew. So I'm going to go with Bartholomew since we don't hear him in most lists.
Okay, the answer was no one, so Bartholomew's okay. Peter was the one who Jesus said, "Go catch a fish with a coin in its mouth." The Gospels never say that he actually caught a fish.
Oh man, I failed the trick question badly then.
I'm afraid so. That's afraid. Which apostle put his fingers into Jesus' side?
Oh, that's Doubting Thomas, but isn't that Apocrypha? Or you got me on that.
It's supposed to be Thomas. Thomas, you know, Jesus said.
Would you count that as correct?
No. But we'll take it. They're judges.
It's supposed to be.
Actually, he never put his fingers in the side of Jesus. It's just something that people have made up, and they paint paintings of him doing that. But when he said, "Go ahead, stick your finger in there," he did not. All he did was say, "Oh my God." And that was all, and that was the end of it. Well,
all right, well, that's been great. I guess we should let some more people play this delightful game.
Which refrigerator magnet would you like? Would you like the "I Think I'm an Atheist" or "Real Men Heart Jesus"?
Yeah, well, since I'm in charge of creative spelling for the show, and I guess a punctuation error is like spelling error, I'm going to go with that one.
Okay. Thanks for calling, Forrest.
All right. Bye, all.
Bye. I wonder how he heard of the show.
That's an excellent question. I wonder how someone who calls us weekly has heard of the show.
Okay.
Maybe it's innate. He's just born with
It's
it.
time to start dialing, folks. The line is open.
The lines are open. The prizes are available. Be polite when you call, though, because this one, he giveth and he taketh away. Points, that is.
All right. To show you some of the questions we have, a lot of these are easy. How old was Noah at the time of the flood?
24.
Okay. At the time of he was 600, and he died at I think it's 900. 950. But so when they're comparing as to which is more of a drunk, then they might say, well, Noah, because he had all of that time that he was drinking alcohol. His liver must have been something. Some more questions that these are the type of questions you'll be answering when you call in. Who was the most misnamed or okay.
Save it, because
don't punch that one.
We have a caller. Hello, caller, you're on the air. May we have a name or nickname?
This is Jeffrey from Southern Ontario.
Okay, Jeffrey, there's one rule that I need to share with you, and that is I am not paying the postage to send this George Bush all the way across the country to Canada. So I'm afraid with your permission, we'd like to leave you out of the contest on that part.
Okay. Tip the atheist badge to a local preacher.
We do have refrigerator magnets that I can send to you. But, Jeffrey, are you pretty good at the Bible?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Do you have any particular area you'd like? Miracles of Jesus, the crucifixion?
Miscellaneous odds
Miscellaneous. Oh, miscellaneous is a good one.
I'll try miscellaneous. I've seen enough Charlton Heston movies. I should know some of the Old Testament.
There you go. Wait a minute. I missed the page. Miscellaneous.
No, this is miscellaneous Jesus.
Miscellaneous Jesus, though. I'm sorry, the category is already locked into place. We can't do anything about that. Okay, how did Jesus always address his mother? Whenever he spoke to her, how did he always address her?
That's a good one. I don't believe he did. In the Bible, anyway. He's not quoted as addressing his mother.
Okay. Yeah, you're correct.
Thank you.
He did not, except for the times he did talk to her. And in every one of those instances, he called her woman. He did not call her mom, Mrs. Joseph the carpenter, or anything like that. He always called her woman. Now, we know that Jesus knew the word mother because he said the word about 30-something times, but he never called his mother mother.
That would be one more piece of evidence that Jesus really is a fictional character.
Well, I think that it goes one of the observations I made was that the last quoted words that Mary said in the Bible were, do what Jesus says. So I'm figuring if people are emulating Jesus' behavior, then maybe they should tell their children to call mom
Mother. Or sorry, woman.
Woman, right. And that way at breakfast tables all across the Bible Belt, a child would be holding up his cup and say, more Ovaltine, woman.
Yeah. I could almost get
Yeah, if
behind
I talked to my mother that way, I would have been belted.
Okay. Okay, didn't you say crucifixion? Would you like one of those?
He says he enjoys Old Testament.
I'll give it a shot.
Many Charlton Heston films.
Old Testament, we got it. Okay, what did King David give to his father-in-law for his daughter's hand in marriage?
I believe it was his lute. Lyre?
His what?
His musical instrument.
Oh. Yeah, well, we'll accept that. That's almost the same as 200 foreskins. And
No, I don't think so.
Maybe they could be used to make some kind of percussion instrument, like a drum or something.
We don't know what they did with the foreskins. We know that catgut can be stretched out, so it's similar. You got the point. What are you arguing for?
Okay, I'll take the point, but like most of the Bible, it really doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. Well, like most of the Bible, it doesn't. There were two characters who. That's not. Here's a good one. No, that's not. Who is responsible for original sin? And I'll give you a multiple choice on this: Adam, Eve, or the serpent?
The original sin.
The original sin. Hey, the apple thing?
Yes, even though the Bible doesn't say apple. I'd go with the serpent. He had the original sin, and he was condemned first.
Yeah, okay, we'll take that, but it's wrong. It was actually Eve. Eve is the one who brought all of the sin into the world, and you find that in 1 Timothy, and it says where the man, Adam, was not the one who was fooled, it was the woman, Eve, who was completely fooled, and she sinned, so Adam is blameless. That's the way that goes. But we'll give it to you.
Okay. So am I finished now? I had my 3 questions. You're very generous with the points, but I don't think I got any of them right.
Well, we do a little manipulating here just so that we have everybody have a good time.
It's curved.
We'll and we'll give you the bonus question. And everyone knows about, and I think you're going to get this one. Everyone knows about Abraham and Isaac, where Abraham started to kill his son, and to turn his son into a burnt sacrifice to God. Now the question is, who did kill their child and turn him into a burnt sacrifice to God? Because of a promise they made to God.
Yeah, that's a guy who returned from battle and said, I'll sacrifice the first thing I see, and the first thing he saw was his own daughter.
Yes.
And I don't recall the name, but it's a long one.
It's Jephthah. That's good. That's fine. Also, for the audience members that doesn't know how this story went, Jephthah says, "Well, I gotta sacrifice you. I gotta burn you." And she said, "Yeah, of course you have to. But since I'm a virgin, why don't you let me go have 2 months to run around with my friends and bewail my virginity?" Now, okay, here's the next question, Jeffrick. How do you bewail virginity? Do you have any idea? And this is not.
How do you bewail your virginity? I'm guessing the virgin's supposed to cry, so they would be crying out as they're being penetrated the first time. Yes.
Oh.
I think it has to happen through a sheet. A hole cut in it. Anyway.
Oh, I was thinking just running around saying, I'm a virgin, I'm crying about that, but not about the part about being burned to death.
I think someone already did bewail their virginity. I think he went on a killing spree.
Okay. Well, Jeffrey, thanks for calling, and we're going to get to which refrigerator magnet would you like?
Okay, I'll talk to you later.
All right, cheers. Thank you, caller. He feels it's too much trouble for us to give. He's very gracious about these prizes. He's entitled to them, but he chooses not to take them because of
all
his geographic
of our callers
distance.
have been that noble.
They are.
That's the kind of audience we have.
Except that Forrest character. He demanded one of the magnets. And he even argued with you. The gall.
We do have a studio audience here who's going to participate whether he probably wants to or not. What's your name? A nickname.
There we go. John?
John is, if he's not coming through the mic, John is in the audience here, and we're going to have him.
I think we have a call coming in.
Almost.
I think we're getting close to having a call coming in. I feel it. I feel it in my bones.
Okay.
I have a sense.
Well, we'll ask him, and we'll have them wait. I mean, he's here in person.
That's true.
And they're lazy. They just call in.
All right.
John, we're going to get back.
We have a caller.
Caller,
Hello,
welcome.
caller.
Say a few words. Anything. John 3:16. A couple words so we can get our microphone working.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes.
Good. That works.
May we have a name or nickname for you, caller?
Jeremy.
Jeremy. Thank you for calling, Jeremy.
Jeremy, you ready to play Bible trivia?
I just called to correct one little thing. You know
Okay.
how you said woman when Jesus was referring to that? That's how the King James Bible translates the original language. It would be more accurate to say ma'am.
Could you say that again?
It'd be more accurate to say ma'am, like yes ma'am, no ma'am.
When you call someone woman? Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying? Okay.
The language.
The caller is saying that saying woman would be the same as saying ma'am, and that's his. I'm getting it from the King James version.
That's how the King James translates it to woman. That's not good translation,
It's not a good translation.
in my opinion.
Is there a superior translation of
care
the Bible
about-
you could? You don't care?
No,
I was
no.
I
I'm
recommend the
going to
NIV
ask him why. Are you saying that my Bible is defective in translation?
Just my opinion.
Okay.
There's a lot of opinions as to how to translate certain words.
Okay, we know he did use the word mother 30 times, so he did at least know that word.
Although we
Yeah.
do have something from the King James version of the Bible, John 2:4. Jesus saith unto her, Woman, what have I to do with thee? Mine hour is not yet come. His mother saith unto the servants, whatsoever. Anyway, we keep going, but he does address her as woman.
Yeah, that's how the King James translates it.
Okay.
See, people made the King James translate things word for word, trying to find an English word to match every Greek word.
Okay.
Why would
They're
Jesus
translating-
speak a language other than God's own, which is clearly English?
Okay. Were
I
there
don't
any
think
other
it's
corrections that you would like to make?
No, I just wanted to correct that minor thing.
That's it. One thing. Okay. Now there's a first. We've done a whole
Bye.
Freethought show with only making
Goodbye,
one
caller.
mistake.
Thank you.
Questions?
He hung up.
He hath gone.
We have a director in the audience here. Okay. John, is it? Mm-hmm. John is going to answer a question. John, have you read the Bible?
More than I care to admit.
John says he's read the Bible.
He
a
says
lot.
he's read the Bible. Where?
Why did Jesus curse a fig tree to death?
Because there was no fruit on it.
That's true. There was no fruit
Even
on
though
it.
it was not in season.
Even though it was not in season.
Double points.
Oh.
Double points.
We're going to put you in the drawing. That is excellent, excellent. You sound like you really know your stuff. He's right. Jesus cursed this tree to death because he wanted some figs, and there wasn't any figs on it. It was like wanting watermelon off of the watermelon vine in January. It just doesn't happen. And, well, are you familiar with the... what category would you like? Miracles of Jesus? Miscellaneous Jesus?
Let's do miscellaneous.
He's going to go with miscellaneous Jesus because he loves a challenge. Okay. Name Jesus' spies that he had embedded in the Council of Pharisee.
Nicodemus?
Nicodemus.
We have one.
Is there another?
Yes, there is. That's why I said
I know
spies.
it as soon as you say it, but I only got the 1 out of 2.
1 out of 2. Can we do a half ring? There we
There
go.
you go.
And the other one is Joseph of Arimathea, who was a honored counselor within the Council of Pharisees. So you got 2 of them. Here's a good one. I mean, this guy knows his stuff. What group of people did Jesus never threaten, condemn, criticize, even though he had pretty good reason to do so? He criticized sin, the Council of Pharisee, parents who love their children more than they love him. Gentiles, called them dogs and pigs. Who did he never criticize and never say a bad thing about?
Homosexuals?
There are probably a lot of Roman homosexuals. So we're going to accept that one. Actually, he never said anything bad about Rome or any Roman, even though they were enslaving his people and
Slavery isn't the right word. They were operating it as a nation-building enterprise in the Middle East.
there you go.
There's nothing wrong with nation building in the Middle East. Maybe disturbing the local religions a bit. They get a bit uppity. You get the zealots. They had to deal with those, and there was Masada. Occasionally, you have to deal with these sorts of things when you want to run an empire successfully.
Right. They probably allowed.
I deserve that Bush sculpture.
They probably allowed them to call themselves subjects, and because subjects is a whole lot better thing than slavery. But apparently that's what they were. I got it. One more question for you, and then we have to sign off. Jesus had several groups assisting him. There were the women who followed him from Galilee. There were apostles. And there were some spies in the Pharisee council. Who else? What other group did he have that he sent out? Now, we talked about the Jehovah's Witnesses before. He sent this group out going door to door. He broke them up into teams of 2. And this was the only time in history where they could say this and it made any sense. And that is, knock, knock, knock. Have you heard of Jesus? No, he lives in Galilee. You haven't heard of him yet. How many of these people did he send out?
144? That's a 12, maybe? Or 70. I'm looking for 70.
Okay.
I'm just throwing numbers.
He's within 2. He's within 2. That's 72 people he sent out going in pairs. So the Jehovah's Witnesses and the Mormons are really are doing
Proper missionary work.
And if the people knocking on doors did not like, they weren't greeted properly or treated properly, then they would shake the dust from their shoes, and that would condemn the whole town worse than Sodom. And Sodom and Gomorrah would have a lesser fate than that town would have. There's a big threat. So we went around knocking on doors saying, oh, by the way, have you heard of Jesus? Oh, you haven't? Well, you're going to hell, and the rest of your town and everybody else too. So he's a lot of pressure. A lot of pressure. Almost every one of Jesus' parables was, you're going to hell. Almost every one of them.
Impressive.
Well, we're closing down now to about 60 seconds in the show. So tune in next week. Again, Freethought Forum is brought to you by the Rationalists of East Tennessee and the Atheist Society of Knoxville.
You may contact the Rationalists of East Tennessee at rationalist.org for more information. The Atheist Society of Knoxville meets every Tuesday at Barley's in the Old City, and they are there right now as we speak. If you are a person with civilized manners, you are welcome to join us.
Remember, set your clock and your smartphones to alarm every Tuesday and tune in to Freethought Forum. People outside the Knoxville area can watch online at
www.ctvknox.org.
This has been my host, Johannes. Our engineer is Sam. Our friends at Jonas has been manning the phones. And I'd like to always give thanks to our paladins of free speech as well as free thought, our friends at the studios of the Community Television of Knoxville. So join me and join Free Thought next week And
Same bat time, same bat place.